Just so you know, I already covered the story about Democratic commentator Kathy Aru getting arrested and charged for allegedly stealing over $224,000 from her mother. Her other charges include like kidnapping and exploitation of the elderly. If she gets convicted, she's looking at life. To tell you the truth, she's in her 50s. With all the charges added up, the potential convictions, you're talking at least about 50 years. So yeah. And I'm just throwing that out there because I know people are going to say, oh, just another story where you only calling out Republicans and making Republicans look bad. Nope, I already covered the story about a Democrat getting arrested and charged who may possibly be convicted, who I was going to reach out to, but not anymore. So that's out the way. Caroline Linton posted this in an article in CBS News. Lauren Boebert's 18-year-old son, Tyler Boebert, was arrested Tuesday in Colorado related to a string of alleged property thefts and vehicle trespasses, police said. And by the way, this was some weeks ago. Forgive me for getting to this late. I know I have a bad habit of doing that. I'm trying to get better with that, but still. The police department in Rifle, Colorado posted on Facebook that Tyler Boebert was arrested at approximately 2:30 p.m. on Tuesday, and he faces 5 felony counts. The charges include 4 felony counts of criminal possession of identification documents and 1 felony count of conspiracy to commit a felony, according to police. According to the Garfield County Jail, Boebert was being held on 22 possible charges, including misdemeanors. Tyler Boebert was listed as an inmate at the jail as of Wednesday morning, but later in the evening he had been released after posting a $1,250 bond. The Garfield County clerk and recorder confirmed he is due back in court on April 11th. In a statement, Lauren Boebert said, "I love my son Tyler, who has been through some very difficult public challenges for a young man and the subject of attention he didn't ask for. It breaks my heart to see my child struggling, and in this situation, especially when he has been provided multiple opportunities to get his life on track." Let me go back to that just a little bit. Let me go back to it a little bit. Just let me go back to it. Challenges for a young man and the subject of attention that he didn't ask for. I bet you right now, Hunter Biden is looking at that going, you don't say. You don't say. Now, Lauren Boebert continued that, quote unquote, as an adult and father, Tyler will take responsibility for his actions. Okay, he was the one that made her a grandmother. Okay, for his actions and should be held accountable for poor decisions, just like any other citizen. You mean like your president, the guy that you're propping up for president, who you don't think he should be held accountable for anything, but okay. So your son should be held accountable for something, but the guy you're wow. Didn't see that coming. Her office announced in June of 2023 that Tyler had become a father to a baby boy. The arrest is the latest in a string of legal troubles in the Boebert's family. In January, her ex-husband, Jason, was arrested in connection to 2 separate incidents. Earlier this month, Lauren was granted a temporary restraining order from Jason after alleging that he threatened to harm her and entered the family's home without permission. Lauren Boebert also made headlines last year when she was removed from a Denver theater during a performance of Beetlejuice. The theater said 2 patrons were removed for vaping, causing a disturbance for the area with noise, singing using their cell phone. And Boebert later apologized. I'm actually shocked she apologized for that. I saw the way that she got escorted out like a teenager. Boebert is serving her 2nd term as a representative from Colorado's 3rd district, although she recently announced she'd be running in a different district for re-election after facing a potentially tough re-election battle. Oh yeah, because there's nothing cowardly about that at all. Yeah, I'm in District 3, and there's a strong Democrat running against me, and he might win. So I don't want to lose to him because losing is embarrassing. And of course, when Democrats win, it means they cheated. So let me go to another district where a Democrat is less likely to win so I can have my seat. Yeah, nothing embarrassing about that at all. Now, that brings me to something else. Let me see what Advocate said about it. So advocate.com, this was posted by, I can't see the name right there, Ryan Adam Zeski. Okay, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that. Ryan Adam Zeski. Here's how they put it. MAGA Colorado Republican Lauren Boebert's son has become the latest member of her family to face arrest and criminal charges. Tyler, 18, was arrested Tuesday after a recent string of vehicle trespassing property. He's located in Colorado's 3rd Congressional District, where his mother currently represents. He faces 22 charges in total. 4 felony counts of criminal possession ID documents, 1 felony count of conspiracy to commit a felony, and over 15 additional misdemeanor and petty offenses. He was still listed as a current inmate at the Garfield County Jail as of Wednesday afternoon. The conservative representative's family has been engulfed by a number of legal and criminal controversies in the past year. That's why they get along with the Trump family so well. Like, hey, we go together. Lauren Boebert's ex-husband, Jason, was arrested last month after getting into a physical altercation with her in a restaurant. Their son called authorities just days later to report his father had allegedly assaulted him. Between both incidents, Jason faces charges of disorderly conduct, 3rd-degree trespass, obstruction of a peace officer, prohibited use of weapons, harassment, and assault in the 3rd degree. The family's neighbors called 911 in August of 2022 over concerns about Jason's behavior, including allegations of driving under the influence and damaged property. Additionally, their children were accused of speeding in the neighborhood, leading to a confrontation. No charges were filed. Lauren Boebert herself was removed from a theater in Denver last year for disruptive behavior, including vaping and sexual groping, during a family-friendly performance of Beetlejuice. The far-right Republican is known for her strong stance against drag queens and transgender people, claiming their mere existence sexualizes spaces despite being involved in a public sexual scandal herself. She also claims to be a champion of family values despite all the above incidents. Well, let's see. Champion of family values. Half the people in my family get arrested and charged for different things. I support a presidential candidate who has had way more baggage than any other candidate who's ever run for president in the history of ever in America. A guy who cheated on 3 wives, has numerous rape/sexual assault/sexual harassment allegations. Family values. I don't know. I just don't know. Let's see. Lauren Boebert, by the way, has a rap sheet. Did you know that? I knew that. But not a single person on the right will bring it up, including a lot of the people on the right who are against the MAGA, like, people like the Mitt Romney, Mitch McConnell types, people like them, the Kinzinger and the Cheneys, like they are not bringing this up, if they're even aware of it. I mean, if they're not, I mean, that's one thing. But 2-page rap sheet. Let's go. 2003. Boebert, under her maiden name, was charged with careless driving, caused death injury on January 11th, 2003 by the Colorado State Patrol. The charge was amended and she pleaded to a lesser charge of speeding too fast for conditions, which is an infraction. She paid a $66 fine and would have just turned 16. Wow. 2004. She was charged by Garfield County Police on January 21st of 2004 for speeding 10 to 19 over the limit, noting she was doing 45 in a 35-mile zone, and failure to display proof of insurance. She pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of speeding 5 to 9 over the limit on March 31st. She paid a $69 fine. Boebert was charged by the Garfield County Sheriff with 2 dog-at-large violations and a dog licensing violation. 2 of the charges were dismissed and Boebert pleaded guilty to 1 dog-at-large, and she paid a $111 fine. Come on, let's get to some good stuff here. Come on. She was arrested in 2015 by Mesa County Sheriff Office for failure to appear, dating from an offense on December 20th of 2015. The original charge of disorderly conduct, offensive gesture, was a petty offense. And by the way, people, that's just only some of it. And here's another thing I want to bring up. Again, this may not sound relevant, but I think it is kind of relevant because he is in the family. There's also a story, an allegation. Now, so far we don't have any proof. There hasn't been any convictions on it. It'd been nice if there was. But her husband, Jason, was accused of flashing himself in front of underage people, underage kids. Now, I was trying to look that up, and it brought me to this. The Daily Beast. Lauren Boebert said, quote unquote, my husband did not flash his stuff at Colorado bowling alley. Now, this one right here says, more than 15 years ago, the not yet husband of not yet Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, she should have never been a Congresswoman, was accused of exposing himself to an underage bartender in a Colorado bowling alley. Now, me personally, I don't know why underage bartenders are even a thing. I thought you had to be, I could be wrong. I thought you had to be 21 to be a bartender anyway, because you got to be 21 to drink or legally purchase alcohol. So I don't know. Maybe there's just certain different rules in different states with as far as holding the position of bartender. So I don't know about that. I could be wrong. He pleaded guilty to charges of public indecency and lewd exposure and served 4 days behind bars. Okay, I guess that's better than nothing. But Lauren, who was present in the bowling alley and 17 years old, says just in a just-released book that it was all a big misunderstanding. In My American Life, hitting shelves Tuesday, Boebert denies the allegations leveled at her hunky husband in 2004, which were first reported by the New York Post last January. Quote unquote, instead of fighting for his innocence in court, Jason took a plea deal, which resulted in him having a permanent criminal record. She claims in the book that no one could have known that the bartender was a minor, adding that the girl had pressed Jason to show her a great tattoo in a private area. Jason, who Boebert admits had had too much to drink, merely acted like he was going to unzip his pants. Okay, hold on. So, hold on. Wait a minute. So, if you did not, first of all, if you get any type of allegation or accusation of doing something like that, what are you taking a plea deal for? You just deny it and just say, no, it didn't happen. I didn't do it. You probably would have gotten a better result. You probably wouldn't have spent any time in jail. She's sitting here saying, no, it was all a big misunderstanding. Let me go back to that again. Let me go back to that. That was ridiculous. That was crazy. Hold on a second. She said no one could have known that the bartender was a minor. Okay, but Lauren, even if the girl wasn't a minor, so even if she was 25 or 30 or 35 or 45, that still doesn't mean you do that, especially in a public area. You don't just unzip yourself and just expose yourself, regardless of the age of the person. Now, of course, it's worse if they're underage, but still, that part is, you're not helping anything with that. I mean, what are you talking about here? What are we talking about? Adding that the girl had pressed him to show her a great tattoo in a private area. Okay, first of all, if you were going to do something like that, number one, two things. One, you do that in the privacy of your home or privacy in, a motel or hotel room or something. And by the way, make sure the person is of age. If you're going to do that, make sure. I mean, this entire Boebert family is, people talk about the Biden crime family or the Clinton crime family or whatever. Roger Stone wrote a book entitled The Bush Crime Family. Kind of ironic. Roger Stone is a criminal. He promoted the Bushes. You figure that one out. Well, now you can add Boebert's name. You can add the Boebert name to that list. Oh my goodness, these people are a joke. This is comical, to say the least. This is ridiculous. So that's that. And I guarantee you, I'm surprised I haven't heard any right-wingers come up and say about Tyler Boebert, let's find a way to blame this on immigrants or transgenders or woke Disney movies or some woke TV show or whatever, some woke movie. Let's blame it on a comedian, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle. you know, they come up with all different type of reasons. Maybe the Clintons were behind it. Maybe the Bidens were behind it, or Obama or Pelosi or somebody was behind it. Because we're not going to take any responsibility for our actions at all. It was all just, come on, it was all just a misunderstanding. So, I don't feel bad for them one bit. So, like and subscribe. I got more coming.